Picture this. It's 1956. The air is thick with the scent of high-octane gasoline, pomade, and the kind of restless energy that only a revolution can brew. The radio waves are caught in a tug-of-war. On one side, you've got the polite, string-heavy croons of traditional country music. On the other, a lightning bolt called rock and roll is cracking the pavement wide open. Enter a young girl from Maud, Oklahoma. She's got a voice like sweet clover and a stage presence that could stop a freight train. Her name is Wanda Jackson. At this moment, she's a rising country star, touring with a charismatic, hip-shaking kid named Elvis Presley. Now, the story goes that Elvis took one look at Wanda, this powerhouse in a cowgirl hat, and told her something that would change music history forever. He leaned in and said, "Wanda, you need to try the wild side. You need to sing this new music. You need to sing rock and roll." She was hesitant. After all, nice girls didn't growl, and they certainly didn't shake. But Elvis saw the fire behind her eyes. He gave her his own ring as a souvenir and a push toward the edge of the cliff. Today, we're looking at the woman who took that leap and became the undisputed queen of rockabilly. Buckle up, folks, because the party's just getting started. In the mid-50s, female country singers were expected to look like girl-next-door types. Think gingham dresses, long skirts, and a wholesome smile. But Wanda Jackson wasn't interested in being the girl next door. She wanted to be the girl on the back of the motorcycle, the one who wasn't afraid to get a little dirt on her boots. Working with her mother, Wanda began designing outfits that would become the blueprint for the rockabilly pin-up aesthetic. We're talking high heels, silk, and those legendary long fringes that shimmied every time she hit a high note. She was the first woman to bring true glamour and a hint of danger to the country stage. But it wasn't just the clothes, it was the voice. Wanda developed what we now call the Jackson growl. It wasn't a mistake, it was a weapon. She took the sweetness of her country roots and shredded it through a layer of grit and soul. When she stepped into the recording booth, she wasn't just singing lyrics, she was attacking them. While her peers were singing about heartbreak in the kitchen, Wanda was singing about being a hard-headed woman. She proved that a woman could be just as loud, just as fierce, and just as rebellious as any man with a Gretsch guitar and a pompadour. She broke the traditional country norms not with a whisper, but with a roar that echoed from the Grand Ole Opry all the way to the teenage bedrooms of Middle America. If you want to understand the raw power of Wanda Jackson, you only need to hear two tracks, Fujiyama Mama and Let's Have a Party. Fujiyama Mama, released in 1957, was a sonic explosion. With lyrics comparing her explosive energy to a volcanic eruption, it was too hot for some American radio stations to handle. But across the Pacific, something incredible happened. Japan fell head over heels for the Queen. The song hit #1 and stayed there for weeks. Wanda became a superstar in a land that was just discovering the rebellious heart of Western rock. She toured Japan to sold-out crowds, proving that the language of rockabilly was universal. Then came Let's Have a Party. Originally recorded by Elvis, Wanda took the track and breathed a new kind of fire into it. It became her signature anthem, a frantic, high-energy call to arms for every teenager who felt misunderstood by the buttoned-down culture of the era. Think about the landscape of 1958. The charts were dominated by male icons, Buddy Holly, Jerry Lee Lewis, Gene Vincent. Wanda was standing toe-to-toe with them in a male-dominated genre, demanding respect and getting it. She wasn't a novelty act, she was a pioneer. She navigated the transition from the hillbilly sound to the high-octane rockabilly rhythm with a precision that few could match. She showed the world that rock and roll wasn't a boys' club, it was a revolution, and she was holding the banner. As the 60s rolled in and the musical landscape shifted toward the British invasion, Wanda never lost her edge. She eventually returned to her country and gospel roots, but the fire she lit in the 50s never truly went out. In fact, it smoldered for decades until a new generation of rockers realized they needed her. The 1950s pin-up aesthetic, that perfect blend of classic beauty and rebellious grit, owes everything to Wanda. You see her influence today at every vintage car show, in every tattoo parlor, and on every stage where a woman picks up a guitar and refuses to play nice. In the late 2000s, rock icon Jack White of the White Stripes sought her out. He knew that the Queen still had her crown. They collaborated on the album The Party Ain't Over, introducing Wanda to a whole new generation of fans. At an age when most people are slowing down, Wanda was back in the spotlight, growling just as fiercely as she did in 1956. She bridged the gap between the golden age of the Cadillac and the modern grit of alternative rock. Her legacy isn't just a collection of old records, it's the very spirit of independence that defines rock and roll. She taught us that you can wear the fringe and the heels, but you'd better be ready to kick the door down while you're at it. Wanda Jackson remains a towering figure, a woman who saw the wild side and decided to claim it as her own kingdom. She didn't just follow Elvis's advice, she surpassed the expectations of an entire industry. She is the queen of rockabilly, the grandmother of punk, and the eternal icon of the 1950s revival. If you enjoyed this trip down the neon-lit memory lane, make sure to hit that like button and share this story with a fellow rock and roll soul. Let us know in the comments. What's your favorite Wanda Jackson track? Is it the wild energy of Fujiyama Mama or the classic vibe of Let's Have a Party? And don't touch that dial. In our next episode, we're shifting gears from the stage to the streets. We're hearing the roar of Triumph engines and diving deep into the leather and lace of the greaser subculture.